Hey everyone, it's Joanne, and today this video is about traveling to United States during the COVID-19 times and how to do it safely. This video is not about my personal opinion on what I think about coronavirus, what I think about masks, what I think about the regulations. It's not that kind of a video. This video is simply just a practical advice about traveling to United States during this time and what my experience has been so far. I'm a Canadian citizen and I currently live in Mexico, so I'm a Mexican resident as well. And I do business in the United States. So it is important to me that I travel to the United States from time to time to ensure all my business needs are taken care of course, seeing an accountant, meeting with my bank manager, and so forth. And I wanted to share my experience about how it has been for me traveling during this crazy time. So as you can see, I'm currently staying at Encore, Wynn and Encore. I chose this hotel strictly for personal reasons. I got married here almost 10 years ago, so I'm pretty loyal to them. And they have always treated me spectacular. I've always felt like they've gone above and beyond for me. And I felt that if I were to travel to the United States, of course, the safest place for me to be in is to travel to a hotel where I feel the safest. Of course, you have options to rent Airbnbs, and I'm sure there's a lot of hotels here on this trip that they're doing a lot of great job in terms of managing this coronavirus pandemic. However, I chose to stay here, as I said, for loyalty reasons, and of course, as a personal preference. So in terms of traveling, I came from Cancun, and there's no direct flights anymore. And there's no reason to you to speak with Border Patrol in terms of providing them with a reason for you to travel. But if you were, my best advice is make your trip an essential trip. So it's not necessarily a trip like a leisure trip like before. Really have a purpose to visit here, because really what's the point of putting yourself in any situation that may make you feel uncomfortable. So traveling was, I think, a breeze. You are required to wear masks, face masks in the airport and, of course, on the plane. And, of course, if you do drink or eat something, you can remove the mask. I flew business first class. So for first class and business, there's no longer any food available or drinks. You can request for the longer flights, I believe the 3-hour flights, you can request alcohol. I personally don't drink alcohol, so there's no need for me to do it, but you can request it. I have seen other people request alcohol. But in terms of food, my best advice for you is bring your own food, because there's no food on the plane. You may get some pretzels and whatnot, but there's no substantial food. So it's important to come prepared and bring a face mask. Face masks are mandatory at the airport. Of course, there are personal reasons for you not to wear a mask, and I'm not going to get into, what the cases are. But for me, I cannot wear a face mask, and the airport will accept a face shield, such as this. So it is required to wear the face shield or the mask at all times. The lounges, like the platinum lounges that you can use with your platinum card or any other lounges available, they're currently closed, so you cannot use the lounges at the airport. Also, some of the restaurants are also closed. I flew through Dallas, and so before the restaurants were all open, and now I would say 60% of all the restaurants and shops and shopping, they're closed. So keep that in mind and make sure you come prepared with food. Bring yourself like a protein bar or whatever you need to keep yourself full, depending on how long the flight is. As far as arriving in Las Vegas, masks are mandatory in public places and, of course, casino and resorts, of course, airport restaurants and whatnot, and you will be welcomed with these messages as soon as you arrive here in Las Vegas. And, of course, if you take Uber, Lyft, and any other of these transportation available, of course, you need to wear a mask at all times, or, of course, a face shield. You arrive here at the casino, and I personally have felt like, considering everything that's going on right now and how difficult it is to run a business to ensure that your patrons are feeling safe, it's very difficult. And Encore and Wynn is doing a fantastic job. Like I can't praise them enough. It's not easy, okay, to run such a big casino, to make sure that there's social distancing encouraged, that patrons are wearing masks appropriately. You have to wear them over your nose and mouth and so forth. As I arrived here in Las Vegas at the Wynn and Encore, I was a little bit nervous about wearing my mask and my face shield, and not a problem. They're super accommodating, and they again allow me to wear my face shield. Just ensure that you wear it at all times, so you don't, there's no issues. Again, leave your personal opinion aside. If you're a visitor of outside the United States, really, your opinion doesn't matter. You need to comply with the law, and the law is you need to have some sort of a face covering cloth or whatever mask you have available. I actually use the spa facilities and the gym, and you need to wear a mask at all times, of course. And for the massage as well, if you're face down, you are not required to wear a mask. If you're face up, you are required to put a mask or, again, a face shield. Appropriate restaurants, again, you're required to wear a face mask, and when you're eating or drinking, you're not required to do so. In terms of shopping, again, very accommodating. It's not necessarily a breeze like it used to be before. It can be a little bit intimidating to see everybody wearing masks or shields, but it is what it is. We all have to be safe and do it in our own best way possible. So I was able to shop. I was able to feel comfortable even at the restaurants and even here at the resort and get a massage. And for business purposes, I had to meet with, my bank and accountant. And again, if you go to a bank, you have to ensure you have some sort of a face covering. So overall, I felt very safe here, and business trips or essential trips are certainly possible. And if you, again, need to visit United States, and it's not necessarily a essential reason to do so, I encourage you to wait. It can be overwhelming at times with all the sanitation, with all the cleaning and everything else. It can be a little bit overwhelming, and for someone that struggles with sometimes panic attacks and stuff like that, it can be overwhelming and kind of in your face. So be prepared for that if it's an essential trip. So overall, my experience here in the United States has been great. I have nothing to complain about. There's laws that we have to obey by here, and you need to keep your face covering at all times. And other than that, I noticed that here, it's not as busy as possible as it was before. And of course, the bars are all closed unless they serve food. There's no beach clubs open or available. There's no clubbing. There's no, shows or anything like that would have more than 500 people. So if you come here, as I said, for a business, you will be taken care of and you will feel as safe as possible. But if you're coming here solely for leisure, I encourage you to stay and take care of yourself and be safe, and just postpone your trip for a better time. And that's all. And I just wanted to give a shout out, as I said, to Wynn and Encore Resorts. You have taken care of me, my family, for more than 10 years. So I'm very happy that I have chose you again to hold my trip here, my business trip. And for everybody else, as I said, I hope this video kind of helped a little bit. If you have any questions about it, feel free to post them below. And as always, as I always say, happy selling!